Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video. This week I'm going to be catching up on some new releases and getting ahead of the game for some other new releases. What I mean by that is I have been gifted. I applied for quite a few ARCs on NetGalley and now I have an insane amount to read. So I thought I would try and loop those into this video where I catch up on the new releases that I do already have because I pre-ordered them and they've come in. So in terms of books that are already out, I'm going to try and do them in release date order. So I know definitely first was The Wild Card by Stephanie Archer. This came out I think the 5th of February and I didn't read it in February, so I thought I'll pick it up in March. And as you can see, it does have a bookmark in because I am some amount of pages in. I'm 183 pages into this book. It's something ridiculous, like 450 pages, but I think it might be because it's the final book in the Vancouver Storm series, so I'm expecting a large epilogue, but at the moment I am finding it just a bit slow. Like I don't really care, but I'm gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna finish it and we'll see if I still think that by the end. I think I'm gonna finish it today, but we'll see what I think by the end. Then I believe these came out on the same day, if not a couple days apart. But then we have got No Matter What by Cara Bastone. We know I'm a Cara Bastone girly. This tattoo is of her last release, Promise Me Sunshine. So I'm excited to go into this because I love her writing, but I'm scared to go into it because it is one of my least favourite tropes, which I believe is a second chance romance. I don't like second chance romances. I don't know what it is about them. Most of them tend to be a then and now timeline, which again, don't like a then and now timeline. So fingers crossed this doesn't have one of those. But it says, sometimes love sends you back to the drawing board. It's been a year since Roz and Vin survived a traumatic car accident and their marriage hasn't been the same since. Roz is sure they can fix things, but then she discovers that Vin has signed a new lease. Deciding to distract herself by joining a figure drawing class, Roz can almost ignore Vin's impending move-out date. But it would all be a lot easier if Vin wasn't her best friend's older brother, and if he wasn't still the kindest person she knows. So kind, in fact, that Vin offers to let Roz draw him. It's probably better than her original plan of finding some random male model. And she needs all the practice she can get. Plus, that's sure to make a separation easier, right? Focus on every detail of your estranged spouse's body whilst drawing them in the nude. After a year of avoiding each other, it does feel good to see and be seen by one another again. Could this be the opportunity they need to find their way back to each other once more? See, I just don't think I'm gonna like it. It doesn't sound like my kind of story, and I'm really nervous because I love Cara Bastone and I really want to love everything she writes. So we'll see what I think about this one as well. I'm really nervous. I love the cover, gorgeous. I'm just not sold on the plot right now. Then another book that I don't know too much about, which is crazy because I literally talked about it in a video that I filmed last night, but that is Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles. This one, it did come out in March as well, and this one I don't remember too much about. It says, he spent a lifetime trying to escape his dark past, but to save her, he'll wade back into the shadows. Braden Winslow never expected to return to Starlight Grove, the town that took everything from her. But with a son to raise and a past that won't stay buried, she's back and determined to uncover the truth about her best friend's disappearance. She just didn't count on Dex Archer, the brooding, reclusive mountain man living next door. Locals whisper about Dex and his dark past, but Bray sees the man beneath the scars, loyal, kind, and fierce enough to protect her when danger comes knocking. Because someone isn't happy that Bray has been digging, and they'll do something to stop her. But Dex, he'll stop at nothing to save her, even if it means slipping back into the dark. It sounds really good. It does sound really good. I said I'm in a little bit of like not a dark romance mood, but a darker rom-com mood. That's my genre that I want right now, a darker rom-com, like How to Kill a Guy in 10 Days, Butcher and Blackbird, Lights Out. So I'm hoping this kind of falls into that category. I'm hoping. But that is the next book. Maybe the next book I'll tackle. And then in terms of arcs, I have actually finished one of them already because I didn't want to start filming this video. I have been putting it off for a while because I've not filmed a proper video in ages, like an actual reading vlog. Sit down videos, fine, but it's been like 3 weeks since I filmed a normal video. That stresses me out. But I did end up reading First to Finish by Rebecca J. Caffrey, which is the second book in the Pole Position series, which is a Formula One romance series. So the first book followed Harper and Kian, and I love that book. I gave it a 4.5. And this book followed Johannes and Caleb, who are, Johannes is a driver for RBW and Caleb is his race engineer. So already a close, tight dynamic that they need to have. But when Caleb notices Johannes is quite upset about something, he does everything in his power to make Johannes feel better, you know, bring him coffee and sweet treats and hang out with him, and feelings start to develop, and it was just so good. I really loved it. I absolutely adored Caleb as a character. I think he was brilliant. Johannes is great as well, but Caleb, big fan of him. So I really enjoyed that one. I gave it a 4-star. It just took me a really long time to read, which is no fault of the author or the book. I happened to get ill last week again, which meant I didn't read for a couple days because I just literally couldn't fathom using my eyeballs. But I really enjoyed it, and very excitingly, I'm going to an author signing for this book at the end of the month. So I can't wait for my pre-order of that to come in, because that comes out on, I believe, the 24th of March. That book comes out, so definitely around then. And then the other arc that I'm going to be reading in this video is Starshipped by Cat Sebastian. This I don't know too much about. I know it is another male romance, and I think it's on the set of a sci-fi movie, if I remember correctly. I haven't read the synopsis in a while, but I do know that B.K. Borison speaks very highly of this book, and I speak very highly of B.K. Borison. So if she loves it, I'm going to read it. I will. And that comes out in April, maybe like the 3rd of April. I think that one comes out, so like around the beginning of April. So I've got a while to read that one. I'm in no rush. But yeah, that's the lineup for today's video. Hopefully I actually stick to it. I don't know what I would do if I didn't, because those are the new releases that I have available to me. But I'm going to finish the wildcard today, and I will catch up with you this afternoon when I have finished that. I have finished the wildcard, and I didn't like it. It was too long. I personally don't think the characters had that much chemistry. I just wasn't interested. But you know, that's going to happen in a 450-page romance book. You know, I'm going to lose interest at some point or another, and unfortunately this one I lost it pretty early on. You know, Jordan, I enjoyed her development in terms of how she acted towards Hockey and her dad. Tate, is that his name? Tate, I just found really boring. I liked his daughter. His daughter was sweet, but him in himself, quite dull. Wasn't interested. So I've given this a 3-star because I read the whole thing. I didn't DNF it. I read the whole thing, but it just was a bit boring for me. For the final book in a series, for me not to be interested, like something's gone wrong. So this was a 3-star, and I actually think I might unhaul the whole series. Like, I don't think about it too much. If I talk, like, thinking about the series as a whole here, book 1 and 2 I gave 5-star, and I can remember, like, book 2 I remember vividly, book 1 I remember bits of. Book 3 I think I gave like a 4.5, and I genuinely don't remember anything about it. Literally nothing. Book 4 I remember I didn't enjoy reading, but I gave a 4-star anyway, and then this one I didn't enjoy reading either. So did I like the series? I don't know. But I did immediately move on to Starshipped by Cat Sebastian, which is an arc that I have. So reading it on my Kindle, or actually I've been reading it on my phone because I've been reading it on my lunch break at work. And I'm about 50% into that one, and this is another one where I don't really know what I think about it. We're following... I'll get there. Hang on. The names are in here somewhere. They might not be. Simon and Charlie. We're following Simon and Charlie, who are actors on a sci-fi show together, and they don't get along. Simon has a real big stick up his arse and really doesn't like Charlie because Charlie came from reality TV. So he thinks Charlie brings down the caliber of the show. And that really sets the tone for the 50% that I've read. I don't see how this is going to become a romance. I don't think these people like each other, and I think that they are genuinely arguing. Like, it's not bantery fun, it's arguing. So, am I enjoying it as a romance? No. Am I enjoying it for the drama? Kind of. So, I don't know where I sit with that one. I have a pre-order in place for this, and I don't know if I'm going to end up cancelling it, because I genuinely, I don't know if I like this book or not. But I'm going to finish it, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see what my final thoughts are, and if I end up cancelling the pre-order. But yeah, for right now, I don't see how they can fall in love. Like, I've just got to the first fight scene, and I'm like, where has this come from? I don't understand how we've got from point A to point B. So it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. But I will get back to you when I finish that, and we will discuss. I have finished Starshipped, and my opinion of it just went down. I don't know if it's a me problem or a book problem here, but I think I said before, I think the characters genuinely didn't like each other, which makes their quick turnaround to being in a relationship quite jarring. I found them really frustrating as people. The main character, Simon, does have anxiety and OCD, so I know that is why he acts the way he does. But even like Charlie, I found him really frustrating at moments. So I just didn't like either of the characters particularly much. Their interactions frustrated me. The way they handled things frustrated me. So I didn't like it, and I feel really guilty because it was an arc, and I always hate when I don't like the arcs that I read. But I did finish it, and I think I'll be giving it a 2-star. I think there needed to be more focus on the actual show they were on. Maybe like if it was when they were filming a season of the show, I would have been a bit more interested. But it was like, oh, we work on a show together, but we're actually not going to do anything with that. Like, we're going to watch the episodes, but we're not going to film any of it. So that frustrated me. There was a plot line of Simon wanting to leave the show, and he ends up being offered a producer role, and I think maybe we would have benefited from seeing him in that producer role and how they handle the season that he works on, and like what the outcome of their characters are, because you're also meant to be invested in the plot line of the show and what the characters are doing, and if the characters ever come out. So I think that needed to be worked on a little bit more, and the pacing I found really not odd. Like, I understand it being done. There were like little segments where you get to see like a fan forum talking about the actors being in a relationship and the characters and stuff like that, and I think the payoff from that needed to be seeing the actual show, or even like another one at the end that like fills us in on what happens on the show. So I do think it was missing some elements. I think it was too long. I just struggled with it in general. It took me like a week to read. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to settle on giving it a 2-star. So we are not off to a great start in this video. We had First to Finish, which was a 4-star. The Wild Card and Starshipped are both 2 stars. So I think I'm going to go into Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles next, and fingers crossed this is a better outcome than the last 2 books we've read. Whilst reading this physically, I have also now got the audiobook for No Matter What by Cara Bastone. I just feel like her books need an audiobook. Like, you need to hear the emotion from the characters, because it's going to be devastating in one way or another. so I might start that as well, question mark. But for now, we're going to focus on Across the Vanishing Sky. So I just finished No Matter What by Cara Bastone, you know, my ride or die, or wrong arm, oh my god, my ride or die Cara Bastone. And I think I'm gonna give this a 4-star, like a plain simple 4-star. The storyline definitely hit for me at the moment. It is a marriage in trouble because of a traumatic accident they were both involved in and a lot of miscommunication. But I think, you know, miscommunication irritates me in any book. I think the reason it works in this is because it is a PTSD response. Vin, the main guy in this, he wasn't great with words to begin with, but obviously the traumatic experience they have then makes him back up even more. And he's trying to read what Roz, our female lead, wants, and he just isn't quite getting it. Like, she wants to continue their marriage and rebuild the relationship, and he thinks she needs space and wants him to move to the spare bedroom. That's the sort of starting point for this book. And in it, we not only see them rebuilding their relationship with each other, we see them trying to create new boundaries with Vin's brother, who was also involved in the accident, and we see Roz trying to reinvigorate her life. I think I've used that word correctly, but like, she's trying art classes to try and get herself out there, and living again and feeling something. And I think that was a really creative way to do that, to show how she's evolving through her art. Like, I think that was a great plot line. But ultimately, the reason it's not a 5-star or even a 4.5 is just kind of, I don't know, it simultaneously didn't feel long enough and felt too long. Like, I feel like we hit a lot of the same story beats over and over again because of the lack of communication. So I don't really know. I think it was a good book. I've never had PTSD. I've never really had a traumatic experience to give me any sort of feeling like that. But I think this was a second chance marriage of convenience. That's not even what it is. A second chance marriage in trouble done very well, because neither of those are my favorite trope. I don't really vibe with either of them. But yes, so I think a 4-star is where I'm going to sit with this one. And I am actually going to end the video here. I haven't finished Across the Vanishing Sky, but I am in a huge reading slump right now. I've only read 4 books this month, which is extremely low by my standards. Like, my personal goals, that's really low. So I am going to finish this by the end of the month, but I don't know when. I am really enjoying it, but I physically can't bring myself to pick up a book right now. Like, I did No Matter What was an audiobook, so I'd put that on and play my video game. But this, I am physically reading, and I'm struggling to find the time where I just want to sit and read. But I am enjoying this. I think that Bray is a very interesting character to follow, because she's been through a lot of, like, not training, but she's become very in the know about finding missing people, and I think that's a really interesting topic. And we also have Dex, who is a hacker, I think is the best word for him. And again, that's really interesting to see how he goes about finding a missing person versus how she's gone about finding a missing person. And again, the grief shown in this book, I think, is really, really well done. I think it's very clear that Bray is grieving the loss of her best friend, even though she's holding out hope that she will find her again. I think Owen, the kid in this, I think he's done very well. It's very of the time. Like, you can tell this was written within the past year based on things that Owen, the child, is saying. Like, he calls his mum bro. Don't even get me started. When kids call me bro, irritating. but it is very much what kids do, you know. They don't have the respect built in to be like, I shouldn't call my mother bro, that's not acceptable. But I think it's done really well, and I also like how Bray tries to be the cool mum and join in with the slang, and it's cringe every single time, but it would be if your mum was trying to use the slang that you use. So I think everything in this book is being done very well so far. I think at this current point, I am just over halfway through, or coming up halfway through. No, I'm just over halfway through. And I think at the moment it's like a 4.5, which is exciting because I've not had a rating that high this month. So I have high hopes for this. I'm really enjoying it, and I do think I'm going to pick up a few more of Catherine Cowell's books, like the Fragile Sanctuary series. I keep seeing that in the works, and I keep being like, I want to pick it up, but I may be putting it aside for someone to get me for my birthday, because that is in May. And I've been really good this month. I've only bought 7 books. I've only bought 7 books this month, and that's a really low number for me, and at least 2 of them were pre-orders, so I feel really proud of that, considering the last few months I've been absolutely wild with buying books. So I'm trying to behave, basically, is the point of that. With that said, that is the end of this video. I can't really remember what I've read this video. First to finish was a 4-star. I did enjoy that. I had the arc of that, and I'm really excited actually. I'm meeting Rebecca J. Caffrey next week. She's doing a book signing in my local bookshop, which is crazy. No one ever comes to my hometown. What else did I read? Wild Card. Didn't enjoy that. Did not. I gave that a 2-star, and I stand by it. Maybe like a 2.5. And then Starshipped by Cat Sebastian. It was also a 2-star. That just, I had such high hopes, and it just didn't fulfill any of them. And then obviously No Matter What was a 4-star, and Across the Vanishing Sky is lining itself up to be a 4.5. With that said, that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed. This one's been a really random one. I feel like, I mean, I know I didn't do any clips of me reading, so it's a bit like formatted weirdly for me. But if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment anything you want to see me read. I have an abundance of books behind me, and last week's video goes through all of the books on my physical TBR. So, you know, you can always click back and watch that one. Let me know if there's any on there you think I should read urgently. And I will see you next week with another video. Bye!